right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back to talk about a book that I finally just finished. That book is Musashi. What I always like to say is written by that author, which I'm going to try again, Eiji Yoshikawa. I think I said it right. This book was 970 pages long, and originally this was a Japanese newspaper serial. So I guess they would put out, a book in the paper or chapters. I'm not sure exactly how it worked out, but basically this whole book was a series of release stories in a paper, which is pretty cool. It was first published into a book form in 1935, and it was first translated in English in 1981. So there you go. I've been talking about this book for quite a while. This book was recommended to me by Nick from Hide and Read. He told me he recommended this over, I think, Shogun. I think I wanted to read that, and he was like, no, read this. So on his recommendation, I picked it up, started reading it. I got about 100 pages into it after about 3 months of picking it up, setting it down, picking it up, setting it down. And then after those 3 months, I got a text from my buddy Graz, who said, would you be interested in doing a buddy read of Musashi? And I was like, sure. So he ended up buying a copy. I had a copy, and we decided that we were going to do like one chapter a night. In the process, we took time off. Basically, it was one of these things where we would text each other, how many chapters you want to read? Do you want to take tonight off? And then the next day we would talk about that chapter, talk about the characters. And this book is about I think he's like 16-year-old. Him and his buddy run away from home to join the military. And there's a big fight, almost like a civil war. And basically the side he's fighting for does not win. And that is the start of the adventure. It's him being a 16-year-old kid fighting in a battle, losing the battle, and then his life and his buddy, Matahachi, and the different directions that they go. And I would say that the way we read this book felt like a journey, and it felt like we were on this journey with Musashi. The time frame we're looking at is 1600, I think, is when this started. And wow, this is a lot of cars coming my way. And it's at a time where samurais are starting to, I don't want to say become a thing of the past, but you can see the writing on the wall because they have muskets now. And, we know how samurais kind of get lost in history here. But this story is basically about Musashi, a potential love interest throughout the entire thing. It's about him becoming enlightened. It's about him becoming a samurai, wanting to become a samurai, mostly just wanting to be enlightened and just improve himself to a point where it's almost obsessive. And there's just so many adventures in this book that I won't ruin any of them, but it's, I guess you could say, a coming of age, because I believe he was 16, like I said, when this started. And it goes right up until, 10 years, 15 years into his life. And we just follow him. We meet a ton of people along the way. We see how a lot of those people play out in his life and how they affect him, and just a huge difference in who Musashi is in the very beginning versus who he is at the end. I know when we were reading this, and we've discussed it, that maybe part of the problem was that we were reading it one chapter a day, and then we would discuss it. And if we had binge reading it, maybe it would have been different, but we were kind of nitpicking a lot of stuff. Like when this book first started, we were like gung-ho how great it was. And then there were times when we're just like, man, this book sucks. Where's it going? Like, why is he making this mistake again? But in hindsight, that's actually what makes this book amazing, man. Probably one of the better books I've read. I think because of how we read it makes it that much better, in my opinion. I think because I had somebody to bounce things off of, get his opinion on things, it just made the experience a lot better. One thing I do want to say about this book is it's pretty big. And I actually had the physical copy. It's probably the best book I've ever felt. I don't know what kind of paper they used, but the book is super solid, super heavy, and the pages are kind of like slick. I don't know. It's literally the best book I've ever held. I have let my son, I gave him a little text. I said, this book is yours when I pass away, seeing as how your sister's taking all the Lewis L'Amour. So yeah, that's just a side note. I just thought of it because I just think that my son is going to dig this book for the reasons I just stated, the way it feels, how heavy it is, and just the story itself. I definitely recommend this. I know Graz recommends it, and try not to get hit here. I'm sure there's a lot that I could mention about this book that I'm missing, but if you like adventure stories and just watching somebody do a 180-degree turn on their life, I don't know if I mentioned it already, but there is a love story that goes along with this. We see his buddy Matahachi, how his life turns out. It's just so good, man. It's such a good story. Very long, does have its ups and downs, but overall, highly recommend it. Where are we at? 7 minutes, not bad for a book that's 970 pages. Yeah, if you're thinking about reading it, go for it. Otherwise, sorry if I'm breathing heavy, but I'm a little winded right now. Anyway, you made it this far. I appreciate it, and I will talk at y'all later. Bye.